Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about awakening a man's deepest feelings without chasing him, we are really talking about stepping into a version of yourself that naturally inspires connection, respect, and desire. Most people think that if they want someone to feel deeply for them, they have to pursue, impress, or constantly give more. But the truth is, the feelings that last, the ones that take root in a man's mind and stay with him, are awakened not through pursuit, but through presence, standards, and emotional honesty. Authenticity awakens emotional safety because it allows a man to experience something he rarely finds in the world, a space where he can be seen without judgment. Most men grow up being taught to be strong, composed, and emotionally controlled. They carry this expectation into their adult relationships, often hiding their vulnerabilities, their fears, and their insecurities. When a woman shows up authentically, without pretending to be perfect, without performing confidence, without suppressing her own emotions, she creates a completely different atmosphere. It becomes an environment where a man feels allowed to be human. This is the foundation of deep emotional bonding. It is not created through grand gestures or constant reassurance. It is created through genuineness. When a man senses authenticity, he feels safer to be authentic himself. He recognizes that he doesn't have to impress you or win you over with a mask. He starts to share more little by little because your presence feels natural and grounding. Emotional safety is not built in one moment. It is built through consistent, small moments where he discovers that he can express himself without being punished, shamed, or dismissed. It may be something as simple as him talking about a stressful day and you listening without rushing to fix him, or him admitting something vulnerable and you responding with empathy instead of criticism. These small exchanges communicate that your connection is a place where he can put down his armor. Authenticity means being honest about your feelings, but also being honest about your boundaries, your needs, and your expectations. It means not saying yes when you want to say no, not hiding your disappointment when something matters to you, and not pretending to be okay with behaviors that violate your standards. A man feels emotionally safe when he knows who you really are, even if who you are sometimes challenges him. Pretending to be agreeable or easygoing may win him temporarily, but it does not awaken deep feelings because it doesn't invite emotional investment. It only creates convenience. Deep feelings come when a man sees your real self, your courage, your compassion, and your willingness to speak truthfully without attacking or withdrawing. When you are authentic, you express your emotions without making them his responsibility. You can say, "That hurt me," without blaming. You can say, "I need clarity," without demanding. You can say, "I care about you," without chasing. This balance of honesty and emotional self-control creates a powerful dynamic. It signals maturity. It signals depth. It signals that your connection can hold real conversations, not just surface-level interactions. This gives him permission to show his own emotions in a calmer, more open way. Instead of feeling pressured to fix or defend, he feels inspired to share. The beauty of authenticity is that it anchors you. It makes you less reactive and more present. When you're not trying to impress a man or earn his affection, you naturally relax into your true self. You laugh more genuinely. You speak more clearly. You listen more attentively. This presence is magnetic. It creates a feeling of emotional intimacy that chasing overgiving or performing can never create. A man becomes drawn to the way he feels in your presence. Because he feels understood, accepted, and appreciated for who he truly is. Men often don't express their vulnerabilities easily, but they slowly reveal them in the presence of someone consistent and emotionally honest. When he sees that you don't judge him when he opens up, he begins to trust you. When he sees that you show your own humanity, he feels closer to you. When he feels emotionally safe with you, he begins to attach. And once a man attaches emotionally, his feelings deepen in ways that chasing could never achieve. Authenticity becomes the key that unlocks his deeper self, because a man falls in love where he feels he can be fully himself. Strong standards create attraction because they communicate something far more powerful than words ever could. They show a man that you value yourself. A man is not inspired by someone who gives everything too quickly or rearranges her life just to fit his. He is inspired by someone who knows her worth and isn't afraid to protect it. Standards are not walls. They are signals. They tell him how to treat you, what you expect, and what level of effort is required to be a part of your world. The moment he realizes you won't settle for breadcrumbs is the moment he starts offering the loaf. A woman with strong standards does not need to chase because her behavior alone tells him everything. She doesn't wait endlessly for inconsistent communication. She doesn't reward half-hearted effort. She doesn't allow someone temporary to take up space meant for someone committed. When a man sees this level of self-respect, it awakens something in him. Curiosity, admiration, and a natural desire to step up. He begins to feel that being close to you is a privilege, not an entitlement. And that shift changes the entire dynamic. Standards attract because they bring clarity. A man knows exactly where he stands, what matters to you, and what kind of partner you expect him to be. You're not controlling him. You're simply expressing what you need in order to feel secure and valued. Men thrive with clarity. When they understand your expectations, they can rise to meet them. The absence of standards leaves him guessing, and guessing leads to inconsistency. But when he sees the strength of your boundaries, he is either inspired to match them or he fades away. Both outcomes protecting your emotional peace. Having standards does not mean being harsh or cold. It means being selective. It means you don't invest in someone who isn't investing equally. It means you don't accept emotional confusion as a substitute for connection. It means you don't let chemistry blind you to compatibility. When you live by your standards consistently, you create a natural filter. Only men who genuinely want to show up will remain, and those who aren't ready will quietly remove themselves. This is not loss, this is protection. A man becomes more attracted when he sees that you are willing to walk away rather than betray yourself. Worth. This doesn't come from threats or dramatic reactions. It comes from calm, grounded confidence. For example, if he only calls when it's convenient for him, a woman with standards will not rearrange her schedule to accommodate him. If he disappears for days and returns with excuses, she doesn't pretend everything is fine. She communicates once clearly, and if his behavior continues, she steps back. This is not punishment. It is self-respect. And nothing captures a man's attention more than a woman who respects herself. When you hold your standards, you shift from chasing to attracting. You no longer anxiously wait for his attention. You allow him to decide whether he wants to rise to the level of effort you deserve. This gives him the space to pursue you in a healthy, intentional way. Men value what they earn, not what is handed to them easily. They commit to what requires effort, not desperation. Your standards invite him to invest not because he has to, but because he wants to. The truth is, a man's desire grows when he realizes that being with you means showing consistency, honesty, and emotional presence. You are not just a source of comfort or excitement. You are a mirror reflecting who he can become. Standards don't push a man away. They push away the wrong men. The right man feels energized, motivated, and inspired. He wants to show up because your strength brings out his strength. And when he steps into that effort willingly, his feelings deepen in a way that chasing could never create. Emotional depth is what truly awakens lasting feelings in a man, because it creates an experience that goes beyond the surface and settles into his memory. Most connections today begin quickly and fade even faster because they never move past shallow interactions. But when a woman shows emotional depth, she becomes unforgettable. Emotional depth isn't about overwhelming him with intense vulnerability or dramatic conversations. It's about showing him the layers of who you are in a natural, grounded, and meaningful way. It is the combination of warmth, presence, playfulness, vulnerability, and inner strength. It gives him contrast, moments where he feels understood, moments where he feels captivated, moments where he feels challenged, and moments where he feels comforted. This contrast is what keeps him thinking about you long after you've left the room. A man becomes emotionally invested when he sees that you have your own inner world, your thoughts, your passions, your values, your dreams. When you share pieces of that world with him slowly and intentionally, he starts to feel a sense of privilege. He realizes he is not just talking to someone who wants his attention, but to someone who is offering him a meaningful connection. Emotional depth means that you don't rush to reveal everything about yourself, but you also don't hide behind a facade. You allow him to get to know you through layers, building intimacy one moment at a time. Part of emotional depth is vulnerability, the kind that comes from honesty rather than fear. It's being able to say when something matters to you, when something hurts you, when something touches you, or when something excites you. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is presence. It shows him that you are emotionally alive, that you feel deeply, and that you are brave enough to express yourself. When a man meets a woman who can be vulnerable without collapsing into neediness, he feels drawn to her in a powerful way. She becomes someone he can trust, someone he can open his heart to. Another element of emotional depth is your ability to create emotional experiences rather than just conversations. Anyone can talk, but not everyone can make someone feel. This might show up through your humor, your curiosity, your confidence, your subtle flirtation, or your ability to be fully in the moment. When you laugh with him, when you flirt with authenticity, when you challenge him in a light-hearted way, or when you give him your full attention, you create memories that leave an imprint. A man doesn't fall deeply because you are perfect. He falls deeply because he feels something different, something real, something emotionally alive. Emotional depth also means that you are not one-dimensional. You are not just sweet or just serious or just mysterious. You are a mix of softness and strength, openness and boundaries, confidence and humility. This multi-dimensional presence keeps him intrigued. He wants to learn more, understand more, get closer. This curiosity creates emotional momentum, and emotional momentum is what leads to attachment. Men fall for women who keep revealing new angles of themselves, a new insight, a new passion, a new dream, because it feels like discovering a treasure slowly, one layer at a time. When a woman has emotional depth, she doesn't rely on games or strategies to hold a man's interest. Her presence is enough. Her energy is enough. Her authenticity is enough. She can be playful without hiding her seriousness. She can be strong without hiding her tenderness. And she can be confident without masking her humanity. This balance is rare, and rarity creates desire. A man stays where he feels emotionally stimulated and understood. He invests where he feels depth and meaning. And when he finds a woman who brings emotional richness into his life without chasing, without pressure, without losing herself, his feelings grow not just with time, but with intensity. Emotional depth, the quiet force that pulls him closer, keeps him invested, and makes him choose you in a way that is intentional, committed, and lasting.